So, staying with coronavirus, and honestly, just hearing the word coronavirus, I'm starting to get sick of hearing about it now, but we have to stay with it. It's the issue of the day. It's the most important issue on all the news networks, in all the newspapers at the moment, so we have to stay with it. Boris Johnson has basically recommended that people avoid pubs, clubs, bars, restaurants, places like that. But he hasn't legally mandated or even attempted to legally mandate that they close. This is the key issue, because he has advised these places to close. He has advised people to stay away from pubs, clubs, restaurants, theatres, etc. But if the government was to legally mandate these places to close down for the duration of the coronavirus outbreak, they would be able to access insurance money. They would be able to go to their insurance companies, whoever provides their insurance, and say, look, we've been legally ordered to close. We need to close. We need this money to keep us afloat, because we're going to lose money for the duration of this outbreak. Bearing in mind, this outbreak could still go on for another year or so, experts believe. So we need this money, but he is withholding that. And I'd say it's the Prime Minister's responsibility that if his experts are telling him that pubs, clubs, theatres, restaurants, wherever it is, need to close, it's the Prime Minister's responsibility. He has a whomping majority in Parliament. It's his responsibility to go to Parliament and say, I need legal legislation that says pubs, clubs, theatres, restaurants, bars all need to close by law. Because then these people, they're going to lose money. Businesses are already losing money because people aren't going because of the coronavirus. But if they were legally mandated to close, they would be able to access insurance money. And once again, it's a case of them versus us. If you're rich and wealthy and you have all the money you could ever dream of, this kind of thing doesn't occur to you. If you're a small business owner who owns a little bar, maybe family-run bar that's been in your family for a couple of generations, this could sink you. But somebody like Tim Martin, who owns Wetherspoons, worth billions, this could damage Wetherspoons, no doubt. It could cause a bit of damage. Excuse me. I've not been to Asia, I'm okay. It will cause damage to the company, but it will not damage Tim Wetherspoon himself. He's worth loads of money. He will just lay off some people, sack some workers, redundancy pay, whatever, and now have to find another job, another low-paid job, just to sustain themselves. So not only is this risking small businesses, risking people losing their companies, losing the money that they need to keep the company running. When it comes to big industries, big companies, big corporations, they're going to have to start, well, not going to have to, but they're going to start laying off the lower paid workers at the bottom of the ladder, because that's what they always do. Whenever a big company struggles, they don't start from the top. They don't say, right, our CEO can take a pay cut this year in order to cover some of the losses. No, it comes from the bottom. They start cutting from the bottom to the top. Big corporations do it. Big companies have always done it whenever they get in trouble. So that's a double-edged sword, that is, isn't it? But Boris Johnson, who was raised in Eton, who has no idea what it's like to live in the real world, who has never run a small business of his own, who has never worked a minimum wage job, doesn't know, doesn't understand that sometimes there need to be laws that legally require people to do things, because the red tape that's in your way will not allow you to cover yourself if you do have to do that. So what's going to happen is small business owners are going to look selfish if they stay open. You understand where I'm coming from? So small people who own independent bars, independent restaurants, independent theatres and whatever, if they choose to stay open because they don't want to lose the money, or more money, because as I said, they're already losing money because of the outbreak, people aren't coming. If they choose not to close down completely and save that little bit of money, they will look selfish, even though they are simply doing what they believe needs to be done to keep their business afloat. But they will look like the selfish bastards. Boris has acted terribly on this. He's dithered and he's delayed, and he hasn't bothered to make a move until people have really leant on him. We need to lean on him now. He needs to issue a legal mandate that states bars, clubs, theatres, they all need by law to close. And that way, the people who own the small businesses can go to their insurers and say, this is the money that we're going to lose, we need it. Cannot afford to lose it, I need to keep my business going after the outbreak lifts. But typical Tories, they don't want to do that because that will cause an impact. And that will cause people to, basically have money for nothing. God forbid poor people have money for nothing. He doesn't want people being able to claim things because that negatively impacts his idea of the economy. And of course, the Tory party has always been about economy over lives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.